A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN Super Foam Flying. And HJN Super Foam Flying proudly presents to you another rare case of one of those kind of blasters. One that Nerf could in fact have gotten a bit more creative with. Behold the Cornersight. Basically a Rebel blaster that does in fact recycle an old concept that Nerf once had. The ability to turn a barrel 90 degrees to the left or to the right. And the utilization of mirrored glass. And so as you can see right here, well, this is basically what you get right here. A Cornersight blaster. One of those rare examples out there that I feel like that would have actually had a much better job as a whole different concept that Nerf had never tried before. Because this is in fact reminiscent to that of another Cornersight blaster out there that actually was a real thing back in the day. And so, with that in mind, that's just pretty much how I feel about this one entirely. But yet, the main thing about this one in comparison is that it seems to be a bit of a revival of this lost concept, where you can turn the barrel around and use the mirrored glass on the sight to see around corners. Like if you're trying to shoot this from a wall or door frame, then you can certainly use the mirror to your advantage. That just seems to be the mentality of this known concept. But because it had been done once before, that's probably just my biggest piece of criticism on this one. I'm not really trying to put everything up to scrutiny or embellishment, but yet, in any possible case, there's certainly been a lot of cases where blasters of all sorts that try to revive certain lost concepts or ideas that Nerf had done before, they have not necessarily caught on that well. The way that this blaster works is by simply using this top prime on the top. And this certainly doesn't necessarily feel the right kind of proportion because this was in fact made for certain kinds of people out there. Because of oversized hands and some ergonomics out there that I feel like in this case are a bit generous, but up here, at least compared to the top slide, this should have been a lot bigger in size, maybe double that size. But in any case, whether you're holding this straight like so or tilted at a corner, definitely expect the blaster itself to shoot relatively far, actually. So, at least for a Rebel blaster, it certainly does well. I'm going to turn it to the left so this way we can see it in action when shooting at a corner. So, in any case, this is pretty much just what you see right here. The mirrors themselves can fold around like this with a nice sort of smooth hinge that automatically retracts itself. It's basically a spring hinge that can allow for them to automatically retract without them being floppy, which is pretty nice. And I feel like that this blaster, aside from being really comfortable to hold, having that nice sort of profile to it, and a bit of a quadrat-esque stacked 4 barrels like so, smart AR system, and actually a pretty impressive way to fire the blaster from around corners. But yet I do feel like that in a lot of cases, most people might argue about the blaster itself not being much better than the likes of most other cases that we've seen so far. Yet I do feel like, at least for a revival, it certainly does better than the original Cornersight blaster out there that we've seen back in the day. But in this particular case, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of improvement. Yet, aside from some ergonomics and some impressive profile and design cues and quirks, features, and etc., not to mention the nice color scheme that it comes with, including the hot pink, orange, white, black, dark gray, as well as teal, and not to mention the mirror, which is pretty high quality considering the price tag of the blaster entirely. I feel like that all that comes together to create a pretty nice blaster. You can get one on eBay, or you can get one probably at secondhand or even thrift stores if you're lucky enough to find any. But in any case, this is just pretty much how I feel about the blaster itself, but yet you might feel different about it. So let me know in the comment section below exactly how you feel about this one and how you might compare it to other Rebel blasters from the time period it was released in. And if you want to see more, go down to my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.